Hello, dynamic learners. Today, we're diving into something super important for your writing toolkit. We're going to learn exactly how to write an incident report. Now, you might be wondering, what's that? Well, an incident report is just a special type of writing where we explain exactly what happened during an unexpected event, like a sudden accident or maybe some damage at school. We always need to write these super clearly, stick right to the facts, and put everything in the correct order. So let's jump right in and learn how to do this, step by step. Here is our game plan for today. We'll start with part 1, figuring out what an incident actually is. Then part 2, the structure of a report. Part 3, we'll practice analyzing a prompt together. Part 4 is our step-by-step writing guide. And finally, part 5, it's quiz time. Okay, let's kick things off with part 1. What exactly is an incident? Before we even pick up our pencils, we really need to understand what counts as an incident. Basically, an incident is simply an event that is totally unplanned and it completely disrupts our normal everyday activities. It's that moment that just interrupts our day. So, what does that look like in real life? Well, it could be an accident on the playground. It could be bullying, theft, maybe even a fire, or anytime someone gets injured. When unexpected stuff like this happens, that is exactly when we might need to sit down and write an incident report. All right, so what is the report itself? An incident report is a formal written document that explains exactly what happened, how it happened, and why it happened. It's incredibly helpful for people in charge, like your principal or teachers, because it gives them the facts so they can decide what to do next. So just remember our golden rules here. An incident disturbs normal activity. The report explains what happened using a simple before, during, and after timeline. You always have to choose the correct point of view, and this is absolutely crucial, stick to the facts only. Moving right along to part 2, let's look at the structure of an incident report and its 4 main parts. Like a good building, every great report needs a solid structure, and ours has 4 parts. Number 1 is the introduction. This just states the main facts: who, what, where, and when. Number 2 is the before, what actually led up to the incident. Number 3 is the during. This is exactly what happened, step by step. And number 4 is the after. What happened right after the event and how is it handled? Let's think about a super simple example. Imagine a student slipping on a wet floor. For the before, we'd say the floor was wet because it had just been cleaned. For the during, the student walked quickly, slipped, and fell. And for the after, the teacher helped the student and called for assistance. Simple, right? Now, pay close attention to this next part because it's super important. Who is actually writing the report? Well, there are 2 possibilities here. First, you might be a participant writing in the first person. If you were actually involved in the incident, you'll use words like I, me, and my, like I was walking when I slipped. The second possibility is that you're an eyewitness, so you write in the third person. If you just watch the whole thing happen, you'll use names or words like he, she, and they. So you'd say something like, John was running when he slipped. I cannot say this enough. Incident reports must include facts only. No opinions and definitely no exaggerations. Let's do a quick little check here. Do you think this is a good sentence for a report? The careless student ran foolishly and fell. No way. That is full of opinions. You can't measure foolishly. Here is a much better version. The student was running and fell. See the difference? That second one is just the pure facts. All right, let's put on our detective hats for part 3. We're going to analyze a prompt and find some clues. We really need to learn how to fully understand a question before we even start writing. Take a listen to this practice prompt. 3 students were playing with a ball in a classroom when the ball hit a light bulb, which broke. Write a report to your teacher about the incident. This prompt actually gives us all the clues we need. It tells us we need to include the date, the time, the place, who was involved, exactly what happened, and of course, the consequences of the incident. Let's break those clues down methodically. Step 1, what is the actual incident? Well, a light bulb broke in the classroom. Step 2, who was involved? We know we need to identify 3 students, and we also know the teacher is the one receiving this report. And step 3, where did it happen? Right there, inside a classroom. Let's keep going. Step 4, what caused it? The prompt tells us the students were playing with a ball inside the classroom. Step 5, what happened during the main event? The ball hit the light bulb and the light bulb broke. And remember, we absolutely have to write this in chronological order. Finally, step 6, what happened after? Well, the classroom was affected, the teacher had to respond, and some safety measures definitely had to be taken. Now for the fun part. Part 4, Step-by-Step Writing, where we actually draft out our report. Let's start with the introduction checklist. Here is the golden rule. Give the main facts only. We just need to say what happened, when it happened, where it happened, and who was involved. Save all those long, dramatic details for later, okay? Keep it brief right here at the start. Let's read a perfect example of an introduction. On Monday, 6th May 2026, at about 10:30 a.m., a light bulb was broken in the Standard 4 classroom. The students involved were Jason Brown, Aliyah Muhammad, and Marcus Singh. Notice how incredibly clear that is. Just the date, time, location, and the names. Perfect. Moving on to our paragraph 2 checklist. This is where we set the scene and explain what happened right before the incident. We're answering the big question: what actually caused this whole thing to happen? Let's look at our before example. Jason Brown supplied a ball and initiated a game. The class prefect, Sophia Ali, reminded the students that they should not play ball games inside. However, the students did not follow her instructions. See how that sets everything up? They unfortunately ignored Sophia's very good warning. Now for paragraph 3, and honestly, you can use more paragraphs here if you need to. This is the main event. What happened during the incident? You want to explain the events step by step using super clear, factual language. Think about order words, words like first, then, and after that to keep the timeline crystal clear. So let's read the dramatic during section. First, Jason threw the ball. It went upward and struck the light bulb on the ceiling. The light bulb broke upon impact, and pieces of glass fell onto the floor. Look at how objective that is. It just recounts exactly what happened with the ball and the broken glass, step by step. Finally, our conclusion checklist. This last paragraph wraps up the entire report by explaining what happened after the incident and how the whole thing ended. This is where you talk about the resolution and the safety measures taken by the adults in charge. And here is how our example wraps up. Informed Mr. David Carter. Mr. Carter then informed the class teacher, Miss Angela James. The broken glass was removed and the classroom floor was made safe. See? It perfectly explains how Mr. Carter and Miss James handled the aftermath and made sure everything was completely safe again. Awesome job! Now we've made it to part 5. It is time for a quick quiz to see what you remember. Okay, here is your final, absolute, most crucial question for today. Should an incident report include your personal opinions or just the facts? Go ahead, shout the answer right at the screen. Did you say just the facts? Because if you did, you hit the nail on the head. You are totally right. You now know exactly how to look at a prompt, break it down like a detective, and write a crystal clear, factual incident report. I am so incredibly proud of your hard work today. Keep practicing that writing, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye, dynamic learners.